Enculturation is the process of building in responsivity and ultimately responsibility, the ability to respond to a particular call. And we then have appropriately enculturated ourselves when we can respond to our own culture and to our own values and to our own needs. One other thing here then, as we rapidly bring these things to a close, we have to look at personality in this light as well. We think our personality is ours. You must recognize, ladies and gentlemen, that the human being is a social animal. We exist in society. We exist in groups. We are born dependent, not independent. We have long periods of dependency. And it is the social relationship between ourselves and our mothers and ourselves and our group that protects us during our long periods of dependency. And in a sense, we never quite get over our dependency and need for one another. And so consequently, we are social animals, and we must then respond to social situations. Our personalities, because they may be our personality, does not mean that they are not inculcated with a social spirit, and they are not designed for a social end. In other words, the individual exists for the social unit, not for himself. We see individuality as something that is just for ourselves. Why are we individuals? We are individuals to a great extent because when our culture and our group confronts problems, we want to maximize the possibility that we will solve those problems by the fact that different individuals look at those problems in different ways, and they can contribute their particular perspective to the group, and those perspectives can be used as a means for solving the problem for the group. So even individuals are there to strengthen the group. You see, if all the people in the society thought just alike and saw the world just alike, they thought no differently one from the other, the society would be soon defeated because it would be uncreative. It would not be innovative. It would not be able to change its perspective of a problem in a way so that it can solve it. So what does it do then? It creates individuals. It's like the reasons why we have genetic variations. We say no matter how intense a plague may be in a nation or a people, there are always one or two people left standing. Because in some way or another, their genetic structure has permitted them to withstand the plague. And as long as we got a few of those survivors left, and as long as they can reproduce, the race continues and goes on. But if the race had all exactly the same genetic structure, then a plague would wipe out the total race and the species would cease to exist. And the same thing then operates in terms of differences in personalities. We differ in personality ultimately because these differences contribute to the survival of the species.
What is good, my people? We are live back again with another live broadcast on the forecast. What's going on, Cassidra? How you doing?
I'm good. How are you, Forecast?
I'm good. I'm good. It's a lot of crazy stuff going on.
Man, it's been crazy since the first.
Yeah.
And we only in what, the 8th, the 9th, the 8th? It's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
It's great. It's scary crazy. This year is gonna be a year to remember. I guarantee you it.
Yeah. And hopefully we start doing the right thing and doing what we got to do.
We better. We don't have much time. We better get it together. We better get it together quick.
Yeah,
and I don't think we understand how serious that is. I don't think we get it. We've seen examples in the past, and we still refuse to move. It's always got to hit. It's always got to hit home and knock on our door before we move. If it knocks on somebody else's door, we don't see it. We don't hear it as long as it's not my door. But then when it's my door, it's too late.
Yeah. And that's the thing, we always react instead of or respond instead of taking uh making moves ahead of time before it's too late. We
Yeah.
wait till the last minute to do
Yep.
everything.
Yep. Everything. Just like investing. We're supposed to be investing now. I've been talking to anybody and everybody that I know. I'm like, hey, you guys get into crypto, get into crypto, get into crypto, XRP, XLM. And people still be like, huh? What? Who? And then they just, well, my 401k, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, that's going to be gone. So if you're investing in a lot of money in your 401k, it's going to be gone. If you don't take your 401k and turn it into silver or invest it into XRP, XLM, and there's some other little coins on Coinbase you can do, but I'm telling you, the main one is going to be XRP. That thing was 52 cents. It's now $2.39 and moving up. And it's supposed to go up to $5. So if you don't have any, you're going to get left behind, bro. Black folk going to get left behind if they're not investing right now.
Yeah, and the thing is, it may be a little too late because that's the thing. Anything can happen at any time, and people just hella unprepared for real. So, so I don't know if I don't think it's like national, but the last since like Monday, I think like my whole city has been without water, and the thing is, right? So people and you'll be like surprised, like you won't even think about all the little stuff that you use water for every day besides just drinking it. You know what I'm saying? But the thing is, see, we've been talking about this, and luckily, right? Like I said, like every time you go to the grocery store, get like extra canned goods and water. So like I didn't have to rush because I was at the store the other day, I ain't gonna lie, I was getting some candy or whatever. And the dude came in there talking about something. Yeah, I'm looking for the water. He's like, there's only one thing left. I'm like, yo, what is going on? Like, because it's like 3 people came. And then later I found out something happened with the whole city. So now all of these people is out here scrambling, because they don't have water here in like the whole city pretty much,
But you didn't hear the news, or you just missed it, or what's going on? Is it contaminated? Hey, Bakari,
Well,
welcome.
what's going on, Bakar? Well, that's the thing. Like, so it snowed here, but like it happened overnight to where like nobody had water. Like, so you try to wake up the next day, you can't flush the toilet, you can't turn the water on, you can't do nothing. So then it's been like that since like Monday until like probably like an hour ago. So I still don't even know if it's all right. The water's starting to come out now. But I still don't. But
Is it good to drink, or I wouldn't
know,
drink it yet. I'd boil it first. I wouldn't drink it yet. I'm like, no, I will boil it. I wouldn't drink it. And maybe just run it a little bit to run the little whatever's off or whatever.
Yeah, because the dude on the news talking about something. Oh yeah, if you see brown stuff, if it come out looking brownish, that's natural. Like, what you mean that's natural?
No, that's natural shit. No, it's natural Dookie. Oh my God. What happened about Athens, Georgia? Bakari, come on here and tell us what happened. What's he talking about?
I don't know. I didn't hear about Athens, Georgia.
No, I don't even know what Athens, Georgia is. Never heard of Athens, Georgia. Oh, man. But yeah, if it's brown, I wouldn't drink it. I don't care what nobody says. That's not normal.
Yeah, exactly. And so,
if it's brown, you need to leave it right there.
But it's like all the water is gonna come out brown for like in the whole city. So, but the thing is though, right? Because now you see when something happens, everybody start panicking. Don't nobody have no supplies. They wasn't ready. Anything could happen at any time, And see, like I ain't have to run to the store because I already had water here. You know what I'm saying? I had everything that I needed, for whatever. All right,
Well,
here, my
look
brother.
at you, forecast. Awesome. Look at you.
Yeah, yo, what's going on, my brother Bakar? What's going on?
What's going on? What's up, Cassidra? No, what I
What's
was
up?
gonna because I was gonna do a live on it. I just been when I get the time. No, it's in Athens, Georgia, and that's where the University of Georgia is, right? And they have a black community there, right? I
Mm.
didn't even know it that they had a black side of Athens, Georgia, literally just where the black people at.
Oh,
They
wow.
did a special on it, and all the black people over there get a certain age, and they are dying of prostate cancer. Just the black people from the water
Oh,
and some plant that they had in the city, and they say that was dumped in the water. All the black people, just the black people, is dying from prostate cancer.
ooh. Okay.
Yep,
Something's
Yeah,
up there, huh?
that's crazy. I ain't even see that joint.
yeah. You know, I saw it. I recorded. I saw it on. I saw it on 60 Minutes. I said, let me see what they talking about. Athens in the water, and all these people, they
Mm.
just dying. All these black people, these getting really sick and dying. From all the black people, just on the black side of town.
So that means they have the water blocked and they have poured
Yes.
something into that water and just that side is getting it.
And
That's
it's
what they
some
do.
plant, and it was
So they
some
have,
plant that was over there that the black people was complaining about the plant that was
they probably pouring stuff in the
contaminating
water.
things. Yeah, yeah.
Hmm. Well, that remember, Aaron Vodka. Remember that movie with the Aaron
And
Vakovich
Brockovich.
way back in the day?
Hmm.
And yeah, and she went to this one city where everybody was getting sick, and the corporate was pouring their contaminated water into the water, the drinking water. So, and they could be doing that now again. Find out what company is there and have the water tested. They got to do something. This is
Oh,
crazy.
they know what
We,
company. They know what company it was, and they talking about the fibers that been found in the water from the company. It was the only company in the area that do what they did. They know what company it is. They've been talking about
oh,
it so long. Now it finally making the news. They was like the news, the media, the state of Georgia. Everybody been trying
and
to
how
cover
many
it up.
people then died? How many people then died already, though?
And
You
now
know what I'm
they up in the ones that ain't dead, sitting around sick from prostate cancer,
saying?
from this
Wow.
stuff. Yeah, yeah, right there in Athens, Georgia. Yeah.
Damn, that's
That's
crazy.
crazy. That's crazy. We can't be around them. This is why I say separate immediately. Let them have they go to their area, let us come to our area. And we work with us and let them work with their own. They can't be trusted. They can never be trusted. They did the same thing in Detroit and it's still jacked up 20 years later. When your buddy Obama went up there and called himself drinking a clean glass of water that was already prepaid, pre-ordered, pre-poured, and you're gonna say, it's good, nothing's wrong with it. But what? They did the same thing in Detroit. And they do what? They do this all the time. This is nothing new. When it's just black folk. Black cities, they put it underwater. Black cities, they poison it. Black cities, they do everything to black cities. And we don't understand how their mindset works yet. I guarantee you the white person is over the water. What you bet? They know what they're doing. Follow the money. Follow the money. They
Of
do this
course
all the
they,
time. This is
of
nothing
course
new.
they know what they're doing. Athens just, Athens is just a black side. It's not a black town. It's just, and that's the thing about it. Athens is a consolidated city. City and county is the same thing, right? And they just have that one black area. And the amazing thing, not amazing, not like it's a good thing,
Hmm. Yeah.
but only that one black area in the whole consolidated city
Does
county.
that surprise anybody? That doesn't
Uh-huh.
surprise us. This is what these crackers do. This is what these devils do. But this is teaching us we need to separate. Period. Let them
Mhm.
have it. We need to see when
Yeah.
we gonna learn. When are we gonna
And,
learn? This
and
happens
I
all the time.
all the time, and I heard forecast talking about something that happened in Richmond and people needing water. Ain't no way in the hell I go back and start drinking that water right now, and they telling you if it
No
come out brown.
way.
Then
No
you ain't about to send no unfiltered water in my house, and y'all know y'all got this from the Dookie plant. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what you bathe and stuff in is
Yeah,
way. Yes,
recycled. Now it's
yes,
coming through brown. Man,
yes,
they finna send
yes.
unfiltered water.
Yep.
Unfiltered
And
water
yep, yep.
gonna be in
And
the
people
black
gonna
people
drink it.
water.
Yep.
yep.
And
And
I
the
mean,
black people, yep.
if they don't
Yep. I'm
drink it, they're
telling
gonna end up
you.
showering it. They're gonna end up showering in it.
Yep.
All of
Yep.
that.
Yeah.
Yep. And you
This is
know
what I
someone getting in their mouth.
suggest. Yep, this is what I suggest. If that's the water you got to bathe in, don't shower. Catch you some pots of water and boil it, and then pour it in
Boil
the
it.
tub.
Yep.
Hey, look,
Yep. Boil
hey,
it.
Bakar, you know, people like today was like getting snow just to get water. You know what I'm saying? Melting snow
Oh my
and boiling the snow.
snow.
Yeah, like
Oh
we
my
was, that's
Lord.
the point that people at today. Like, let's just boil snow, really, so you can
Wow. I
flush the
wouldn't drink that
toilet, pretty
either.
much. Right? Yeah,
Yeah.
not to drink it,
Oh
but
wow.
to use for like to
Well,
flush the
see, this
toilet.
this right here, we talked about this a couple weeks ago, right? About getting your
Talking
emergency stuff. We talked about this. This is nothing new.
Cassandra,
And why?
your cousin's
Huh?
hard head. We've been talking about this for years. They
Man, oh
hard
my
head.
God.
We've been talking about this for years, Cassandra.
And they still don't have no water. You look at them, you got water, and at the last case, well, how much water you got at home? None. This is it. What? We've been talking about this. Black folks so hard-headed. I'm telling you, 2/3 gonna die this year. It's gonna be a
Hard
lot of
head,
black folk dying this year. I swear it is. Y'all, but
hard headed like a
I'm
mofo.
telling you, man, I'm telling you, hard head
They
makes
go.
a soft hand.
Mm-hmm.
Welcome, Ron.
I'm gonna keep listening because I like to
A
listen on Wednesday
hard
because I
head
go to
makes a
bed
soft
early.
hand.
I
Yeah,
go to
Oh
bed early, so
Lord,
I
what
be
time you go to
listening.
bed?
Shit, I normally be
9:30.
in there. Yeah, I be about 9:30. I be falling asleep, so I be listening to y'all till I go to sleep. I be listening every Wednesday. I don't normally come on because I know I'm gonna go to sleep. I listen to y'all every
We
Wednesday.
appreciate you, Bakari.
Yeah. So now I'm gonna listen offline because I don't want to
Oh
go to
man.
sleep on you because it is all right.
Yeah, I appreciate you for coming on here and letting me know that too, because I didn't
He
even know
already
that
he
about
already
Anthony
learned it.
too.
And
Yeah, I heard. But that's crazy. And shouts out to my brother
Being
Anthony. Shouts out to Raw. Appreciate y'all for coming through. But yeah, that's what I was saying. Like, you see how
man.
quick that people is folding, and so like even now, like if I go cut the water on, I don't even know what's gonna come out there. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of people is not
You better
even.
test that water before you drink it.
Yeah, no, I ain't drinking. I don't even drink that water anyway. That's why I keep water. But like now, I'm gonna like people like I'm gonna start keeping like 2 or 3 cases of water at
Yeah,
least. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
yeah.
Because
I'm telling you, cases of water, food. You need to rack up. To go get you some Vienna sausages and some sardines. You better go and rack up. Just go to where you can go Aldi's and just rack up. Spend like $20 on just canned goods, beans. And just spend. You got to do that because I'm telling you guys, something is coming down the pike this 2025. I'm telling you, it's gonna be a mess. It's already a mess. You've had so much happen. Look at fire in California. You've had so much happening. Is anybody paying attention? Black folk, are you listening? Are you paying attention? This stuff is hitting the fan. And we don't even understand it. We still looking crazy. We still arguing about, crazy stuff. We still arguing about Trump and Kamala. Baby, it's more to it than that. You better be arguing at that store and going up there to get you some of them some food canned goods right now. You need as many canned goods as you can get. Get just a lot of beans and get just rack up on canned goods. Don't get no meat, get canned goods. Get your can opener. Get you some what's that? Propane that gas. What is it? The propane? Get some of that. Have you some charcoal for your grill outside. Come on, you guys. We can do this. We know how to do this.
yeah, yeah, but because like if the power would have went out, the whole city would have been up in flames probably.
Of course. Of course, I guarantee you it.
But, mm-hmm.
But you better have your candy bars with you. You better be ready. Even if your electric go out, you need to pick one room in your house right now because it's cold. It's 32 degrees. It was probably 29 now, 25 degrees outside right now. You get your plastic, you get your tape, you tape up them windows, and you close that door, and you have one room in your whole house that you decide that you guys gonna live in for a minute. Because bodies bring heat. You have one room. Don't try to heat up the whole house. One room. I'm telling you, get you some canned goods and get you some propanes. Make sure you have it, where you can use that outside. Get your little heaters. You can get, a little what you call that like a battery, a little generator. You can get them for like 19, 20, $30, and that could operate some kind of heating fan or something, some kind of something. You guys got to get something in your house. I have two little battery generator things, two of them. I don't necessarily need to do my refrigerator, but in cases, in case it goes out, then I'll be able to plug up a heater. Be able to do something, you guys. Don't leave your family open like that. Have some kitty litter, have some plastic bags in your, for your toilet. So you don't just your toilet, your house don't just start smelling. And you line it with the plastic bag, you put a little kitty litter in there, and you do your little poop poop, and then you pull that bag out, you tie it up, and you put it outside. You don't leave that stuff in your house. You don't want to contaminate your house. You're gonna have to, I'm telling you guys, we have to be ready for whatever's coming, because we never know. And it's wintertime. I remember last how many years was that forecast? It was Texas that the electric went out for like, oh God, what's it, like a week, and so many people died. They was in cooking, barbecuing in their house. Please don't bring your grill in your house, honey. Please don't do that, people. Please don't do that. Don't bring your grilling pot of barbecue in your house. Don't do that. That's not good. Barbecue grill belongs outside. Don't bring that in.
Yeah.
You
Shouts
know.
out to MD2 in the building. And raw, it's just like food, vegetable, like you just keep preserving it, saving it for later, just in case for emergency.
Yeah. Don't be doing a whole lot of meat, because that let you go out, your meat gonna get spoiled. Don't be messing with that frozen meat and stuff. Get canned goods, get your can opener, and get your little pan. And you can I got a little propane. It's like a little bitty pot, and it's a propane, and you can pour. You can use it. It's like a gas. You can use that, for cooking and stuff if you're camping and stuff. Make sure you get your sleeping bags, and this little, what's this little bag called? It's like aluminum foil. It looks like aluminum foil, but it's really super warm, and it keeps the heat in. You guys need to invest in that. I think those are like $7.90. I'm sorry, like $10 maybe. But go ahead and invest in some stuff to keep yourself warm. Because what happens if you're out and about, and even if your car gets stuck on the road? Do you have a kit in your car, especially if you live in a cold area? Do you have a medical kit at your house? Do you have a medical kit in your car? Do you have anything like your boots and your extra clothing or bug out bag? Do you have any of that packed, where if you have to leave your house in an emergency, and you just say you drive? And I keep bags in my emergency bag in my car and my house. So if I'm at work, something happens, I can't get home, or I'm driving home and I get stuck or whatever, then I got a bug out bag. I have all that in my car. Keep that stuff in your car, and just keep it, keep a blanket or something over, so people won't be able to walk past it. My windows are like tinted, so you can't see inside my car. But you guys have to be ready. Don't just be so naked to where if you get caught outside, you don't have an extra coat. You ought to have sweatpants. You ought to have socks. Your boots are extra, about 5 pairs of socks, and jogging pants, jogging shirt. You know what I'm saying? You ought to have enough clothing to where you can, if you get wet, you can change your clothes and still be okay. Get you a blanket. Have a blanket in your car. That's just be ready for whatever comes. Don't just be out there with nothing. You gotta, you just got your coat. You ain't got your gloves, your hat, your no scarf, no nothing. Don't do that. Keep that stuff in the car. Keep it in your house. Keep an extra, pair of clothes. Especially jogging pants. They're very warm. I don't do jeans. I do jogging pants, leggings, jogging pants. Just be ready for whatever they're gonna send your way, you guys. They didn't even tell nobody in Richmond. How did you even know about that? You said you didn't even know, forecast that was coming.
No, it's just no, it's just the water was gone. Like
Didn't even have time to store up nothing, huh?
Well, I mean, yeah, but no, like when it hits, no, you don't. You ain't gonna have time. But right now, you got time though. You could
Yeah.
go by. And MD2 said the skies there are a little red from what he could see.
Oh wow. I don't know
Yeah,
what that's about.
yeah.
It's not dark where you at.
Um,
Hmm.
and he said, and Ross said he shoots glass jaw. Yeah, that's what's up. That's good.
Preserving fruits and vegetables.
Yeah,
Yes,
we need to learn that skill.
yes, that's a skill. Even hunting. I don't even know how to hunt. But I'm like, I'd be a vegetarian, I guess, because I don't know. But I got a lot of canned goods and stuff. But yeah, stock up on y'all like the little sardines, and I got a lot of them. I like sardines. I'm just saying this is for emergency, but still, it's food is food. But I'm telling you, you guys get your go in there every payday. Just do $10 worth. Go to Aldi's and get those canned goods. Don't be trying to go to the grocery store and things about $2 a can. No, go to Aldi's. It's like what, 57 cents a can. Go to Aldi's and spend like $10 per pay, and just stock up and get you one of them totes. You know, you can get a $5 tote from Walmart and fill up your little tote. Just fill it up. Just put little stuff in there. Just, don't get the rice. People say get rice. I have rice, but you got to cook that stuff. Get the 5-minute rice, the bag rice, if you're going to do that. Don't get the rice. You got to take a whole hour to cook rice. I hate cooking rice. Rice is one of it's filling, but it takes so long to get cooked. You don't want to waste your time doing rice. And this is the 5-minute rice. The other kind of rice is going to take too much of your propane to heat it up, to cook it. Get boxes of pancakes. Bread keeps you full. Get something that's going to give you a little bit of protein and not chips and, all that stuff. Make sure, like grits, you can get like the 5-minute grits. That's pretty good. Get your grits, your oatmeal. Get something that's going to stick to your ribs. You can eat a thing of grits and you good for a whole day, because you may only have enough for one meal. So buy that big old thing of grits and get about 4 or 5 of those. The little thing of grits, you're going to stay full with that. Okay. And you can get the 5-minute grits. Get you some beans. You have the chili beans. You got all kind of beans with different sauces and stuff that you can pour a little water in and stretch it with the family. Make sure you got water. Water. Every time you go to the store, you ought to have an extra case of water. Just buy an extra case and put it in the back room. Just buy a gallon and put it up. We have to be thinking about this stuff, you guys. It shouldn't be to where people are without water. You need water. If you don't buy nothing else, make sure you have enough water. And we're not talking about nasty, dirty snow. This ain't the snow that we ate back in the day. We used to eat snow. You can't eat this. I wouldn't dare eat this snow now. You got to boil that stuff. But it's better than that dookie water you looking at forecast. Yeah. It's better than that. I'm just saying. But I'm just saying, it's gonna be some horrible days ahead. I don't know how that fire in California started, but that thing was deadly. And you had men that was taking pictures, doing a video inside that burning house. Why didn't you get out? If you know fire is coming your way, why would you not leave your house? Ain't that the dumbest thing ever? Fire. Who would do that? You just sitting in the house and they told you to leave because it's fire. You're going to sit there. What are you sitting there for? Are you out of your mind? Yeah. You are crazy. And what happens when you run out of water or the water stop running and you trying to preserve your house? Don't you have your house insurance? Go. When they say go. What are we doing? They sitting up there in the house taking a video of the bird from every side.
It was some white dudes.
Yeah.
I figured there had to be some white dudes.
Like, what are you talking? Why would you sit there? They said, get out, fire's coming. They're gonna burn your house down. Why? And you in it? That don't make no sense. You gonna sit, I'm gonna save my house. Shh, man, that house, you better build another one. Save your life. But you gonna fly away and all them flames around you and every side. I don't know what happened to them, but it was crazy. I was like, what in the world? They inside the house and here come fire. From every window they look and here's fire. You must be crazy. So what you think you're gonna do? You going in the basement or what you go with? You got somewhere to go underneath the house or something? That's crazy.
Yeah. And but yeah, that's and I want to show you just a couple joints because I guess we ain't gonna be on here too long. Let me so just speaking of what we're talking about, I'll try to find the right parts. I don't know the right parts.
And just want to let y'all know that Richmond is racist. The racism has a suit on. And what? Because Richmond City experienced a water outage. I think the water's back on for them in the city, but for a day, a full 24 hours, they didn't have water. So they went to the shower, the bath, or the sink. They turned the water on. No water came out, or a little bit of water came out.
Mm-hmm. And it's still like I said, it just came back on like an hour or two ago. Like
that's sad. All these days, y'all didn't have no water, but with no, they didn't even tell you. Just shut it off. Who does that? You don't even make an announcement or nothing. You just, oh, we're gonna cut the water off. What? So what's the excuse? Oh, somebody accidentally touched the wrong line. What?
Yeah, they said something broke or something like that. I don't know.
Okay.
Apparently, the water that did come out was dirty, so it was just rough. Like there was no water. So if you lived in the city of Richmond, like North Side, South Side, East End, wherever you at in the city of Richmond,
By the way, I'm in the West End. He said everyone but the West End.
they didn't have water.
Yeah, that's the white
They
folk up
had
there,
water.
West End.
No, not that part of the West End. It's like the city. They tried to, because that whole part didn't even exist. But like, yeah, they
Okay.
call that part those like short pump and all that, like
Yeah.
West End, but it's not. It's the white
You
people
up there by
area.
Carey Street? Up there by Carey Street? Is that where you are at?
Yeah, kind of, but like I'm like in the city area.
Okay.
Yeah.
Or a little bit of water, but most of Richmond didn't have water. Like period. The restaurants, the houses, the
restaurants
hospitals.
didn't have water, right?
It's not funny.
Hospitals, dang.
See, you know how many all the businesses around here shut down. We couldn't even go to work today because you know they shut down all the stuff because nobody had water. Like the restaurants, everything was shut down.
Man, them restaurants, I bet they was like, ooh, wow, because their meats and we had electric, so you're fine. But
yeah,
man, that's crazy. No water, you can't even do your business. You can't even make your money, make your living for the last 3 days. So they lost thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness! Wow.
It was we didn't have water, and so I'm making this video because
all right, so he
they don't know when they said Henrico won't be affected by this. They meant Western Henrico.
See, that's the West End Henrico. That's not West End that we call West End.
Okay, I got you. Okay, I got you.
Yeah, because East End Henrico is still considered the city.
Yeah, it's like the hood almost. All right.
So, yeah, East End Henrico is still considered the city.
That's crazy.
So basically, only the black areas.
Sorry,
experience
it is what it is. Richmond is racist, so
you can say Richmond racist all you want, but you're gonna do about it. You're gonna have some water next time. Hopefully,
issues with the water.
Cause I'd have had some hot. I'd have taken my little showers and stuff. I have plenty of water. Plenty.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like I wasn't even tripping. Like, but people was like wilding out because you can't really do nothing.
Of course.
Why would you wild out? They
didn't have any issues with the water. And Chesterfield petty. Hey, let me show you what Chesterfield said. It was advised that you boil your water to clean it up because the filtration system wasn't working. So it was crazy, bro. I'm trying to tell you, it was crazy. So it's the little thing we take for granted, bro. We take going to the sink and getting clean water. We take that for granted. Because in Richmond they couldn't do that. You feel me? They went to the sink, nothing came out, or whatever did come out, you had to boil it because it wasn't safe. It's crazy, bro. Contaminated water. But the restaurants were still open. McDonald's was still open.
Crazy, right?
Oh, McDonald's is open?
McDonald's probably was open, but I don't know. I ain't go to McDonald's, but it probably was. But I know a lot of restaurants that had to close down because they couldn't wash their hands or nothing. You know what I'm saying? So technically, the McDonald's supposed to close down because they can't wash their hands.
McDonald's ain't closing down, honey. You got to be kidding. McDonald's like, oh no, that don't mean nothing. We open for business. If don't nobody else open, we open. Shoot, McDonald's ain't playing that. Close what? Who? If we got to bring a hose from the river down there.
That's the thing. The river make it even worse because ain't nobody. You wouldn't even eat the fish out that river.
Okay.
Right there. Like, you don't want nothing out the James River.
Man, they be trying to fish out there. they be trying.
Yeah, like we fish out there, but I throw the fish back out that water. I ain't gonna lie.
You think you ain't eating them James River fish?
No, I ain't eating that fish right there.
It makes you wonder. But look at Chesterfield. Attention, Chesterfield residents. You do not need to boil your water. Due to operational issues at the City of Richmond's water plant, Chesterfield County proactively transferred its customers off the city system and regional corporation to help the city maintain its limited capacity. the shade. Oh my God.
Wow.
While users in the
They
city are
transfer
currently
their
under
people
a
off the
boil water
water.
advisory. Chesterfield Utilities customers are not
Them
included.
crackers in Chesterfield.
Chesterfield is fortunate to have multiple sources it uses for its water supply,
Oh, they're fortunate.
providing redundancy in its system for situations such as this. At this
And just something, but like us around here, and we late, you know what I'm saying? But anyway.
And see, my house is on well water. We don't have like city water. We're on well water.
Oh, that's good.
So that
Yeah.
so we won't be running out of water. My husband's like, oh, we need to switch that over. I said, we ain't switching it over nothing. Now, if you want to do both, we can do both, but we ain't gonna just have just city water now. So we kept it on the well system.
That's
I said,
good.
we don't have nothing else. We have water.
Yo, what's going on, MD2?
Hey man, just hanging in there, just digging you guys, man. Just
What's up?
listening in, digging, listening to you guys. I'm glad you guys are talking about Sister Cassidra. I really appreciate you. When you were talking about just being prepared. I mean, out here the skies are red because of those fires. And I used to live up in Pasadena, and right now I think about where I used to live. 10,000 acres up there are now burning.
Wow.
Yeah. So, and Pasadena, when I first moved out, I was living up in the hills, and we basically lived in like a 3-acre place, which is for California, that's like that's like living in a complete 100-acre farm in Georgia or Virginia. I mean, that's But the thing is all those places up there are really dry. And I mean, it doesn't matter where it is. I mean, California is a really dry area, anyways. And a lot of
We lost
Yeah,
him.
you faded out, MD2.
We lost him, right? Gone.
Let me see. Yeah.
But one thing is, how does California every year, every so often, and last time it was Paradise or some part of California that was super racist that burnt down, the whole thing burnt down. That happened at last time, and people was trying to drive through they was trying to drive through the flames. I'm like, are you guys what did you guys not have time to get out? Who waits till the last minute? That's what I don't understand. I don't understand that.
Okay.
What are we doing here?
Yeah. Go ahead, MD2. You there?
Yeah, I'm here. I accidentally knocked myself off. Yeah, a lot of those folks are not prepared. They're very ill prepared out here. And one would think after that quote unquote pandemic that folks would start thinking in terms of, hey, maybe I should have a little extra this and that. Myself, I carry about 100 gallons of water at any given time, just in case. And I rotate through that water. You keep it in a cold, dark place, and it'll stay pretty good for you. Always keep it outside, or make sure it's not in the sun. Keep it out of the way of the sun or anything warm. But a lot of folks are so ill prepared in terms of just waiting for something, because this is earthquake country, but the fires are nothing new. I've seen fires when I had better eyes. I've seen the sky being red many a time out here. It doesn't matter where it is. You could literally smell the smoke, even if it's like 50 miles away. Yeah. And that's just California. But the thing is and Sister Cassidra, like I said, I appreciate you, because the thing is listening to this brother talk about what's happening over there in, I believe it's Virginia, there, Brother Forecast?
Yeah, Richmond, Virginia.
Richmond, yeah. The same area where that Becky, I believe, is breaking the arms and legs of black babies. She supposedly, I know you probably covered that. The thing is you've got this scenario where it shows just how dependent we are, unfortunately, and how unfortunately unprepared most of our folks are. When you were talking about McDonald's, I mean, the last thing that many of us should be thinking about is, one, going out to eat, period, unless maybe on occasion or whatnot. And number two, definitely not McDonald's. It just shows you where priorities are at. If McDonald's and Wendy's are running, priorities mean that they're taken care of, irrespective, or they're going to be, it doesn't matter because of the money they got. They could serve, stuff that's, contaminated. I mean, it shows you just how dependent, unfortunately, and how unprepared we are. I mean, preparedness is not being like an ultra prepper, you know, and getting like, you know, 1,000 guns and, you know, and a bunker and the whole 9 yards. Preparedness is, and I'm gonna just overstate some of what you were saying, Sister Cassidra, is just being ready, you know, being ready just in case, you know, just in case something. I mean, just having a little extra something just in case. If people harken back to their so-called pandemic, remember how toilet paper was almost, you know, the new gold. That is insanity. You know, hand sanitizer just shows you that, you know, the more and more that individuals are expecting things, and expectations are usually the dream killers. The more folks are expecting, like, oh, they'll have this for us, they'll have that, the more they'll end up like what's happening in Richmond right now. You know, and that's what's happening in Richmond is a microcosm of everywhere. You know, you've got an entire, I mean, I'm sure everybody's watching what's going on geopolitically. It's a madhouse, you know, and anything can happen. We're preparing for a possible, you know, disruption.
Anything.
I'm not saying Armageddon, but disruption of everything that you guys are, we're all used to. I mean, it could happen any minute, you know, but anyways, I'll go ahead and pass the mic.
No, yeah, that's a fact, you know, and that's why when you be out here, you unprepared, and especially like people, they have children, and then like so they was giving away water, and it's like that 10-year shelf life water that be in a carton, you know what I'm saying? Even though like I had water, and then my parents, they had water, but I still went and got it anyway. I ain't gonna lie to you. You know what I'm saying? So I wouldn't even use that water anyway though. It just looks weird though. I mean, I keep it, but the point is though, you know, everybody was like going to the store at the last minute. And so not only that was no water in the store, they raising the price on the water, you know. So I got the same water when it was on sale, you know what I'm saying? So I was good. But you could also go to the store like next week out, it'll probably be on sale. It'll be water on sale, and that's when you get it. But when you trying to get it doing at the last minute, is not going to be there, or you're going to be paying crazy amounts of money. Like he was just talking about with the toilet paper, you know what I'm saying? Like I ain't have to go to the store at all, you know. So that's the thing about it. But some people will wait to the last minute, wait till it's like you're snowed in and you're trying to go out there, and then you're crashing and all type of stuff. But anyway, what this brother is saying here is like, if you look at the districts that was mostly affected, it was mostly like black areas, like kind of the hood that lost water. I'm not saying only black people, but black areas for sure. You know what I'm saying? That lost this water. Places like Chesterfield is like where a lot of white people are, like Short Pump, like the West End, you know what I'm saying, area is a bunch of white people where they have their own systems, you know. But MD2, you said this a long time ago about being able to dispose of your own feces, you know what I'm saying? Like we don't even have that power. So when these plants that be running, like Bakari explained how dirty they be running, when they malfunction or whatever, you know, because I'm already not even drinking the faucet water. But anyway, let me stop rambling. Yo, y'all want to say something?
Yeah, Brother Forecast.
Yeah.
When described.
Oh, my bad.
That's right. The very first video I ever did on this platform that they own, that Peckerwood's own, called YouTube, was called Water. That was the very first gig that the very first video I did. And the reason I did that was back in 2007 or 2006. And that was under a whole different channel, the whole 9 yards. And what it was is I was telling black folks that we don't even own our own water. That water is the most important thing. And if you have to rely on somebody for water, then you're relying on them for every aspect of your life. There's a thing called the rule of threes. And I was just talking in one of my forums that I had yesterday. The rule of threes is you could go 3 minutes without air, 3 minutes without air, 3 weeks without food, and 3 days without water. And the thing is a lot of folks take it for granted. It's not only not having the power, because that's very correct, not having the power to get stuff done, but it's not having the mindset. And that's even more, I mean, not having the mindset is more, destructive than not having the power. Because individuals might not have the power to get stuff done, but if they have the mindset of like, hey, how can I not be 100% dependent and in case something happens? Without the right mindset, you could have all the power in the world. Look at the folks in these fires right now. I mean, you got folks up in these fires that are literally, I mean, these areas are not the hood that are burning down. These are like that one Peckerwood actor, Gutenberg. He's right in the middle of the fires. So these areas are the Palisades, extremely wealthy areas. They just don't have the mindset. Yeah, they don't have the mindset. And so therefore, they're subjected, and unfortunately, if they don't, I know black folks for lack of a better term, don't have the mindset. Look at New Orleans in September 2005.
Yeah.
That should tell you everything you need to know. And then if not, then look at February of 2020, all around United Snakes. Remember the year before, everybody was buying chicken sandwiches from Popeyes. And then when it came, a year later, a pandemic happens. And then all of a sudden it's, what am I going to do?
Yeah, pandemic.
Yeah, right. Exactly. The pandemic. So the thing is, it's being prepared not only for natural disaster, but you have an entire shifting of political, social, civil, the whole 9 yards environment right now that a lot of folks are going to be extremely subjected to. In other words, Peckerwood's going buck wild, which is what I anticipated. This is what I expected and what I wanted. You're seeing the true colors all around of individuals, not just from Zuckerberg and Musk or whatever. You're seeing it across the board. You're seeing it in judges. You're seeing a lot of folks look out for themselves to the detriment of us. So hopefully, not just preparing for natural disasters, but preparing for the natural disaster of a European society that's going down the toilet. Hopefully we'll have that mindset, even if we don't have the power. I'll pass the mic.
Yeah. All right. So yeah.
Systemic racism, I often come back to the idea of water pollution. Systems like slavery, Jim Crow laws, and mass incarceration polluted society with injustice and caused racial inequities to be embedded into our way of life through laws, practices, and beliefs. To this day, the effects of these laws and practices show up throughout society in numerous ways. And the ending of certain systems does not mean that the long-term effects of those systems just cease to exist. Basically, the water's still not clean. Even if you ignore the issues.
All right. Let me see.
Get my poison in the water,
bro.
God damn it!
You didn't hear about this?
Nah, what?
Listen, when you get a chance, the sinks in Jackson, Mississippi, it literally looks like Pepsi.
What the fuck?
Like,
what you mean?
Yeah. And the governor of Mississippi has known that this could have been a problem for a while, and they've allocated funds towards it, but they haven't used the funds towards it.
What?
And
what?
It goes. Jackson, Mississippi is 82% black.
Yeah, I was about to say
82, bro. 82% black.
That's fucking crazy.
Which is crazy for a city.
What does their mayor look like?
I don't know. That's a great question. That's a great question.
Can we get on that, Moff? Let's find out what the mayor looks like. This would be interesting.
But it just touches upon what we think that racism is just back of the bus.
Yeah, it's way deeper than that.
This is environmental racism.
My son African.
So and my brother, go ahead.
Yeah, I just heard them say Mississippi was 82% black. So whose fault is it that you still voting for white folk to be put over you and you're not changing your situation? It's 82% black. That means black folk voting for these fools, and they keep these fools over them who's treating them like crap. So whose fault is this? And then we want to whine about stuff. No, when you have the power, then you can make a change. 82% black. And I guarantee you that judge or that mayor, that governor probably been in operation for the last 10 years or at least 7 years. And you still keep voting them in. Whose fault is that? Nobody has the sense to vote against this person or run to run for this office so that you can change things for your people and you cover that person if they do get in office. Because Mississippi good for killing folk. They good. They ain't changed, honey. They good for you die of a heart attack in Mississippi. And it ain't no natural heart attack. It's something else that. But what you gonna do about it? What are you gonna do about it? Remember, the governor had something to do with that, didn't he? Or he knew who did it and dropped the charges, or didn't even prosecute the person. The people. There was several people. So what are we doing here? What's going on? Why are we not caring enough about ourselves to elect ourselves to fix our problems?
Sister Cassidra, thank you. This is why I'm sorry for cutting you off.
No, you're good. I was done.
You hit the nail on the head. The thing is these young brothers, I mean, we could talk about everything and what other folks are doing to us and what they're in the black neighborhood and this and that and the other.
Yeah.
And when it comes down, these two young brothers, they have 2 arms and 2 legs. They could get stuff done. Okay, it's not like they can't. Okay, we can. It's not like we can't. Chokwe Lumumba, his son, from what I believe, was the mayor over there in Jackson, and because I remember when supporting him when his father was alive. And the thing is, I'm not only gonna push blame on him. What I'm gonna do is say that's an entire community. Everybody everybody is culpable for whatever happens in that community. Okay, whether it's Athens, whether it's Richmond, whether it's LA, it's everyone in that that's part of it is culpable, because not only who you vote in, but do you support that mayor? Is it just, oh, we got this mayor, he's going to do this and do that for us? It's almost like what black folks expect when they every 4 years, like a bad menstrual cycle, they call it elections. It's like, well, every 4 years, what are you going to do for us? What are you going to do for us? No. The thing about governance is you have to make them do it. You have to be the one to actually instigate whatever action that you want. So if the water's bad and it looks like Pepsi, clearly somebody has not instigated consequence to the folks that are running things. They haven't instigated rewards for the people that make it well. That clean it. Look at Flint. It's like if there's a problem and the individuals are not fixing the problem, then they need consequence. If they fix the problem, you reward them. You give them votes and whatever reward it is.
Every right to decent water.
I've just noticed an apathy toward common sense and intransigence toward reality that unfortunately pervades a lot of our folks globally, not just in the United States, but globally, because it's always wanting to be dependent and be a vassal and always waiting for someone and expecting. And like I said, expectations are the killers of dreams. So the thing is if there's a problem, I hear a lot about the racist this, the racist that. Well, what are you going to do? What are you doing about it? Okay, clearly there's a problem. Now go fix it. Clearly. So I just wanted to pass the mic.
What's crazy? Water is probably the most abundant thing on the planet, and we pay them for it. And I always was like, why don't we get mad at this? And you know what black people say, or the black people I've talked to say, well, one thing is you're gonna pay taxes and die. Like, really? Is that what it is? Because it's like, you paying tribute. We still paying tribute to them. If they could, they would charge us for water, and it'll probably have like carbon dioxide or whatever is in it. You know what I'm saying? That poison. Mm-hmm. And we would pay them for that oxygen that's diluted, just because they can probably get it cheaper. You know what I'm saying? But this is a part of being under European stuff, because that's the thing. Once you your stuff goes out, then what are you gonna do? You can't just what are you gonna do, right? Because you can't even use the bathroom for real. When you don't even think about the small stuff like that, where you can't use the bathroom. And that's why I'd be like, that's why you have to have infrastructure for your own communities. I voted once upon, when I was old enough to vote for the dude LeVar Stoney in my city, you know what I'm saying? But guess what? He was just like the rest of them. He didn't do anything different. They run on a certain type of thing with a certain type of budget. When I was a certain age, I was looking to get into the politics and be like, as far as my district, you know what I'm saying? Like, I looked up everything. You got to be a certain age now that I'm old enough. But I see something different now, you know what I'm saying? Because why? Because Negroes is because we're Negroes. That's why, you know what I'm saying? Because we say, we stay black, pay taxes, and die. That's the only thing that's guaranteed. How about that's not guaranteed? Like paying somebody else taxes to live in somebody else's society to give you watered down versions of stuff that you're supposed to get. Like water, I wouldn't even drink out the sink anyway before they told me this. You know about all the boil advisories across America, but then people gonna argue with me about the water stuff. Like it's just healthy water. They don't fix the pipes and the stuff in America. You know what I'm saying? So all this stuff gets screwed up. Anyway, I'll play this one.
Well, it's looking like this country has a bad habit of pumping poison in the black community.
I'm only playing because
you know we have New York, Flint.
Yeah, let me start that over because a brother didn't think it was happening in New York.
It's looking like this country has a bad habit of pumping poison in the black community. You know, we have New York, Flint, Jackson, and Chicago. And now we can add Wichita to the list. For more details on this, go to What's the 411 News.
And by the way, I'm gonna stop right there. But if you look up in your personal city, you should probably look up how many boil water advisories they've had in your particular area. And I don't know, in the last like 6 months that you probably never even heard of, you know. But y'all can jump in anytime you want to jump in. But damn. This was another one. My brother Bakari was talking about the one in Athens. I ain't hear about that. You heard about Athens, MG2?
Barely.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't know about that one. Damn, I don't even have the right one. But this is at Louisville. They talking about the water company that's responsible in Louisville, Kentucky. Yo, MD2, it's a question for you. What's the most racist state in America?
I think all 50 of them hold the title, so I would never really. I mean, I've been to all of them.
Country.
Right. You know, I've been to every state, and every state, you know, when you say races, you know, to me that's just, you know, common sense. You know, I mean, it's like, you know, for me, it's like, it's just protectionist. You know, I mean, I expect it no matter where I've been, but where I've had hassles in terms of the one that's more protectionist, or quote unquote, you know, that they're looking out for themselves. Gosh, it's hard to say. I would say the Northwest, but then the Northeast over in like Boston or Massachusetts and stuff, it could be a toss up between those two, you know, like out there when I was in Ashland, Oregon and Bozeman, Montana and all that. Gosh, but then you've got Southern California, which is like they're killing black folks on the regular, but you know, they got a lot of the lowriders doing it now. They've been doing it for years, but now it's kind of escalated. Over, you know, not too far from where I'm at. Man, it's a toss up.
You didn't even say Florida, like Alabama.
I'll say Mississippi.
Mississippi,
honey.
I wish I could.
All of them would be correct.
Yeah.
All of the above would be the correct answer. No matter what you say, you would have been right.
Last one of it.
But all right, so this is Louisville, Kentucky, with their water issues with Pastor Seth.
No, Lord, let's see what Seth got to say.
Amen.
Oh Lord, Pastor Seth, what he got to say? It's really well, we can't really hear it. We see the writing.
Yeah, I know. You probably can only hear the pastor.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. It's probably a bad video to play for real.
First of all, thank you for the invite. And Pastor Elliott has been a mentor of mine for many years.
I don't know. Let me see if you can hear it.
I don't do anything unless you force me to do it. And I wouldn't try to bring the whole company down. I would just try to get justice for those who are.
It's fine. I mean, we could hear it if you really listen.
we could stop right there. But define justice, brother. When you're talking about we can try to get justice, define justice.
Yeah,
brother.
right. Justice where?
But
Where you get justice unless you show up at their house.
And
That's
this is no, yeah, go ahead, Cassidra.
I said you was talking about define justice. The only justice you're gonna get is when you show up at their houses. You're not gonna get justice in this, in their system, ever.
Yeah, justice. Yeah, that's depend on the definition of justice. And then you have, of course, like the Chinese stores. We can get water from them. They recycle some toilet water to give back to you. This is in Africa, I think. Maybe it might be here. There's no telling, to be honest with you.
This is the water that they are selling for the people in the name of purified water.
Oh, it's purified.
And they are selling to the communities. Our communities are just eating
toilet water,
drinking water that is coming from the toilet. These people.
Damn, and there's some.
They need to burn that store down.
It's for your Chinese people.
They need to burn that store down.
Y'all want to say something because
have water in them. Okay.
All right, look.
You are in the West Coast.
You rarely
of the United
see
States,
black
and
people
it hasn't
talk about
rained in
this.
3 months. Okay, and so the creek out behind you is rule of threes. Okay, 3 minutes without air, 3 days without
MD2
water,
just said
3
that,
days
right?
without food. Okay, so you can make it 3 days without water. Yes, I know there's people that have tried to go longer. And, I can do 5 days, or I can do 7 days, or whatever. Yeah, you can maybe if you're sitting on the couch or whatever. You're not going to do it if you're out.
All right.
The very first thing, which is common sense. All right, if you're at home, stock more water than you think you need. All right. If like
because they ain't gonna listen to none of us telling them, so we got to get a white dude to come tell them. But
like I said, the rule of thumb is 1 gallon of water per person per day to drink. Okay, how long are you going to stick around? I mean, a 55-gallon drum for drinking water, not bathing, not cooking, not cleaning, not nothing. Drinking water, 55-gallon drum will last you a little less than 2 months for a person. Okay, so. You need 7 of those per person just to drink for a year. Right now, you're hoping that within a year you get rain, snow, something that you can find water. But make sure that you have stored more water than you can possibly need. Because, like I said, 1 gallon per person per day does not include hygiene, cooking, cleaning, anything like that. So, all right. So, first thing you're going to do if you are out of water is you are definitely going to take careful idea of what you're eating. Okay. You're going to want to eat fruits. Fruits have water in them. Okay. Your canned vegetables, your canned fruits, whatever it would be. Hopefully you've got things like canned soup or whatever. Those are things that you're going to want to do. The canned vegetables, drink the water out of the peas or whatever it would be. If you cook it in there, then cool it.
All right, so he go on and on, but we ain't got that much time.
Yeah,
and,
brother Forecast.
Go ahead, my brother.
The things that you get from like Sparklets and Arrowhead and stuff like that, those 5-gallon things of water. I always tell folks, because if you're in disaster and like right now, I think in Athens, they're going through like a major snowstorm. I may be wrong, but I think that the snowstorm is really impeding them. The thing is of course you're going to need per person. That's a rule of law. 1 gallon to drink. It's usually 1 gallon to drink, 1 gallon to cook, 2 gallons for washing and for hygiene, and 1 gallon for other. And that's what, so that's your 5-gallon jug. Okay. And that's per person. Okay. That's in your house or whatever, because the 2 gallons for washing and whatnot, for hygiene. Okay. Especially for women, you're going to need more, because you're going to boil it anyways. You're not going to just, I used to do a lot of, working up in the mountains, and that was just something that, we had to deal with. Okay. We didn't have the 5-gallon jugs. We had to go to the creeks. and that's where I got most of my stuff up in the mountains. You know, I was working up in Sopris and Redstone, and I was working. You know, I spent the whole summer up there, and we would have to go ahead and fill up whatever we could in whatever containers, but we always knew that we're going to have at least that gallon for cooking. You know, and if you're drinking water out of those cans, you don't know where that stuff is at. You're always going to have to boil it. Okay, that's why whenever you get canned food that has, like, you know, peas and corn, the reason is because it's set. A lot of that stuff is not only just the bacteria, but the chemicals that are in it. They put it in there. Canned food is there so it could stay on the shelf forever. So a lot of that stuff, drinking it straight, you might do yourself some major serious damage without having to, you know, cook out impurities and whatnot. Because as a trader, we know that corn, you know, and I know this, you know, trading commodities, which is what I do. Corn can sit in a silo for 4 years before it's eaten. Okay, I mean, that's just the nature of what it is. And a lot of that corn that's, you know, to cut costs, they'll put it and, you know, rehydrate it and put it in these cans. Everything's not so super fresh. So there's a lot of things. Hygiene, you want to at least have 2 gallons for hygiene. Okay, and a lot of that is because if you're out there, and I'm not just in the mountains. Say something happens, like I'm an earthquake zone. You guys might be in tornado zone, and something, you know, debilitating happens where the services, city services, state services, there is no triage. There's nothing out there. You'll need to have water for boiled water, just in case you don't have the things for to disinfect. Okay, whether it is, you know, like, you know, and I'm not saying boiling scalding water on a wound, but you want to have antiseptic type water just in case you need to clean wounds off. You know, that might have filth and everything else. Your sewage systems will that's the first thing to suffer in major calamities. Is they're always watching, because, you know, that's, you have a heightened sense of possible of cholera. Look at what happened in Katrina. The sewage systems are almost always the first to be affected. So, you know, and it's just thinking of water. The other thing that people don't talk about, and I call it energy. Energy is the most important thing over and above water and food. Why do I say that? Of course, you need protection, but energy is everything from a match to a solar kit. If you don't have energy, especially where you guys are at, say something happens, your grid goes down where you're at. Over here, we don't get snow. Over there, I know you guys do, more than likely. What happens if that grid goes down for a week? Okay, if you don't have a solar kit, what are you going to do? Your food in your fridge is going to spoil. I always keep a grill. No, even if you live in a condo, keep a grill and some coals. You know, always have something just in case, because all that meat and all that stuff in your freezer and your fridge is going to go bad in less than 2 days. So you're going to want to cook and make sure that you have the ability. So energy is very important because it also keeps you warm. So, I mean, these are things that are just very basic prepping ideas, but always think food, water, and energy, you know, and energy is also a blanket, you know, having good clothes, having good shoes, you know, little things like that. Always keep a set of shoes near your exits. Okay, whether your exits are, you know, not directly in front of your window, but to the side of your window so you don't trip and fall out the window. Always have a good set of shoes within 6 feet of wherever you're at in your house. You know, because you never know when you're going to be running through glass. I mean, just little things that people don't think of, you know. But I'll pass the mic.
Yeah, and when you say that, right, I remember Katrina here. One of them, I might know Isabella, Hurricane Isabella here. All the power went out, and like my whole block had, like, they had to cook out because, you know, all the meat would have went bad. So everybody just on the block was just cooking out. Now the problem is, had the power been out for another week, we all would have probably died. You know what I'm saying? Because we was not prepared. I ain't know nothing about nothing anyway. You know, but we was not prepared for anything, some natural kind of thing to happen, even though we knew and we know every year that hurricanes happen, we know tornadoes happen, earthquakes happen, but we don't count on stuff. But we also know that, you know, and especially if we look into our local areas where the water plants are, how low managed they really are, you know, how much they do to save money in certain areas, and the things that they do, and the deals that they have with certain companies. You know, if we knew half of the stuff, then we would be, I don't know, like, yo, because we could have, like y'all said, we have hella power to do stuff, but we just don't, you know. So I just play some of this stuff right here. To prepare for emergencies. Yeah.
10 items, with the last one being super important.
All right,
economic updates, and add to your emergency. Experiencing an emergency or a disaster, whether it's a hurricane, flood, or something much bigger. It may be that you have to survive multiple days without, say, power or other resources. So having an emergency kit so that you are prepared for a few days on your own.
What the hell was we doing 200 years ago? Because we can't survive without power right now.
Exactly.
We're done. Damn. They must have been tripping back in the day then.
Own is vital.
I don't know,
There's
something.
a lot of videos out there that take a long time to get through a list. So I'm going to try to keep this one short and sweet so you get the list and you can be off to the races. Now, the most essential thing they say that is part of your emergency kit is food and water for your family and your pets. But these are 10 additional items that FEMA says to include into your emergency kit.
Yo, think about it. For most of the time of like this country anyway, black people had to move in the pitch black dark without resources, food, water, whatever, being they could be harmed at any time trying to get to where they're going within the conditions without any of the stuff that we have today. And they have more courage than we have right now. It's the crazy part.
Number one is a flashlight, a headlamp. You never know when you're going to lose electricity and need to navigate at night for whatever you need. So having a flashlight and a headlamp is number one. Number two is a whistle. You never know when you're going to be stranded or in a survival situation and you need to get someone's attention, such as a search and rescue person or someone else. Have a whistle in your kit. Number three is a dusk mask. Now, you could level up a dusk mask for a lot of reasons, but FEMA says just a dusk mask, just in case the air is contaminated. Number four is maps. Physical maps that you can hold and touch, not digital. I could do a whole video on
Also,
maps, what kind of maps to have on hand, what kind of maps to have for prepping. Let me know in the comments below if you want me to do a video on maps. Number five is a manual can opener. Now, these can openers can range from a simple old school style or an advanced manual can opener. Canned foods are often items that you stockpile for prepping.
I'm probably the last generation to see those can openers you had to turn to open the thing because it became automatic after that. I don't even think they know about a manual.
Having a can opener wherever you are is going to be super important. Number six is games. Games for children, games for adults even, cards. When you're in an emergency, you're going to need to keep your mind busy, and especially kids. You want to keep kids' minds busy, so having coloring books, games, to keep them occupied.
Who can
is super
clean
important.
and load
Number
this AR
seven
fast?
is a no-brainer. It's an emergency kit.
Exactly.
Emergency kit. Disasters vary, and you need to have an emergency kit to be able to take care of an injured family member should they get an injury. Number 8, supplies for your pets. Do you have pets? How many pets do you got? Do you have supplies for your pets? If you can't make it to a
some of it,
having a pair of basic pliers or a wrench is fundamental in your emergency kit.
And just overall tools.
And number 10 is communication. Having an emergency radio, whether it's solar or crank powered.
Yeah, we talked about we had the whole ham radio thing, but that's what FEMA says anyway. Okay, so
I'm done spending an obscene amount of money on taking.
And by the way, I've seen like certain kind of bunkers, some that maybe you can get, but also you can invest with some of your friends into buying more expensive kind of stuff.
Hard. So we're going to be going over the very basics and kind of show you filters, stored water. All right. So what we have here is the 2 basic water filters. Just about every YouTuber will always promote these 2, and I do as well. Well, I do one as well. We have the Life Straw, all right, and we have the Sawyer Mini. Both of these filters will filter out bacteria in your water, making it clean to drink for bacterial, all right, to remove pathogens that creates dysentery, giardia. Both work really well. This one here does not last as long. This here with the plunger system is like up to 100,000 gallons, if I remember correctly. And that's because it has a back plunger system that you flush it out. You can't flush this out. 2, even with the image, here is a water brick. All right. This is a very easy way of storing water. I don't care if you're using a water brick, if you're using 1 gallon jugs, if you're using 5 gallon, the big old tanks that you put in a water dispenser, whatever it is, as long as you are storing up water on hand and that you can actually cycle it through. So no algae builds up in it, nothing. Down here in Florida, algae grows in water really, really quick. We have well water, so it is not treated by the city. City water is actually treated with chlorine. It's got fluoride. It's got all kinds of stuff in it. You know, your tap water. A lot of the stuff that they put in there keeps algae from growing in pipes. That's why, supposedly, why they do it, to keep the algae from growing in the pipe system coming to your home. We drink well water, and we've done testing on our well water. We have to run it through a reverse osmosis system. We have to run it through a Berkey style filter. We make sure that our drinking water, our cooking water, is clean. So, stored preps.
So
Show you what we do every week.
We talked about food, but also medical stuff, right?
Over-the-counter medication, trauma kits, everything to deal with gunshots to poison oak, whatever. Get some medical. Bites. All right. If you are reliant on medicine to sustain your life, diabetes, heart, blood pressure medication, things of that nature, that should go right up there with water. All right. When you actually buying stocks into preparedness, that's where it should be at. It should be one of your top priorities. You can last a long time without food. A lot of people like to say,
got the most diabetes?
You can go so many days without eat anything and you'll be fine. You can't. From my experience, from all my outdoor training, actual survival training, I am an instructor and actually run my own business on test because your body's actually attacking it too. Because your heart's a muscle when you don't have food. So even though that you're alive, you're not functioning. You're not functioning to the capacity and the survival level you should be. Basically, you're just laying there. I'm not talking bad about anybody, but that's not survival. It's not. That's just laying around, and that's just hope. Break your ankle, break your finger, take a bullet shot. I'll tell you what, you take a gunshot wound, you're going to need more than this. You're going to need a trauma team. I think a lot of people watch way too many TV shows. And they...
All right. So.
Next up, cooking fuel. This here is 1 pound propanes. We use a propane stove inside our home. We actually have adapters for our 100-gallon tanks. We have adapters for our 20-pounders, you know, the regular outdoor grills. You've seen them. So we have these. So I like keeping these on hand. They are fast, effective. I can always disconnect, hook up our line that goes outside, and we can run off those tanks as well. Great items to have. They also work with lanterns and things like that. But these are the very basics.
All right. So, y'all want to say something about that?
You said it. Just those little propane things are really good. And then medical kit, you can order those for what, $5, $6, $10 on Amazon. You know, but yeah, he said it all.
Yeah, basically, I mean, just really common sense stuff that, especially like your filters, like the Berkey filter. I went and got, back in 2008. I had a bunch of filters because that's when their economic crash was happening, and nobody knew what was going to happen next. And then I went and got more a few years later. And I mean, nowadays, survivalism is always going to be in the forefront, especially after Obama got in office. Everybody started prepping and surviving and whatnot. So any military surplus store, I mean, I was just telling folks in one of my forums the other day, 2 days ago, there's 3 different military surplus stores I go to on the regular. I wish we were the ones who owned it, but, unfortunately, not very many of us are survival minded out here.
No.
Everything, I always tell folks, anything that you do on a daily basis, get it, because everything, like you have to go to the bathroom. So you're going to need things for that. You drink water, you're going to need things for that. Everything that you know that, and I'm not talking about like, you know, games and stuff like that. No, what do we got? No, the things that you have to do, you know, should, you know, on a daily basis, make sure you have that backups of everything. And because nobody knows what's going to happen next, especially with the craziness. I'm telling y'all, it is nuts in terms of these Peckerwoods trying to hold on to their power. Okay. And you may see a lot of folks.
And they
I'm
still
sorry,
gonna lose. I said they still gonna lose.
yeah, they're losing. They're losing their minds. And my thing is for us not to be very dependent on it, because think of them as being in a plane, and I don't want them piloting the plane of plain black. Okay, I'd rather us pilot our own planes, because there will be several that'll be jumping out with what they think are golden parachutes, but most of them are going to be, you know, going out there with anvils like a Roadrunner cartoon. And I mean, it's madness. So my thing is, the less dependent we are on all aspects of anything, the more, you know, including finance, including security. Security is not just, you know, sitting there and, you know, learning how to, you know, do some, you know, some karate moves. Security is not only just a gun, but security is, you know, it encompasses everything. How are you going to secure your food? You know, how are you going to secure your medical care? How are you going to, you know, secure your networks? One of the things that I mentioned it on many a channel, but no, it really didn't take off enough. But this is something I told a lot of black folks back in 2005, and I've been saying it for the next 20 years, because I still say it. The reason that you see that I have the Big Dipper on all, you know, if you go to Facebook on Zuckerberg's platform, if you go and look me up, you'll find that there's a Big Dipper. You see it on Instagram, you see it on Twitter, you see it on YouTube. What that means is it's almost like a symbol. Okay. And what that symbol is anyone that I know that has those, I initiated it for family, friends, and everybody else. If you have the Big Dipper, this little insignia, it means if there's a calamity, it could be nuclear war, zombie apocalypse, or another fire. If you go to a town and you find someone's social media that has the exact same, you know, symbol that we have, that is like a safe house. And the reason it's the Big Dipper, because that's what we had to follow when we were trying to get free. Always follow the North Star. So the thing is I put this back in 2005 when, you know, when the Ning sites and social media and blog talk was starting to happen. I said, anywhere that you find one of my colleagues that has a Big Dipper and you see it on the social media, chances are that's a safe house. That is also security. A lot of us don't have safe houses. Many of us don't even have relatives that would take us in should something happen. So, you know, it's being full spectrum preparedness, even with your contacts. Most folks don't even have not written down the number of their family and friends. They just know they just get on their phone and it's going to, you know, they'll instantly call. How do you know if you didn't write it down? Because maybe your phone or your grid might be out and you have to go to another city where they might have a grid and somebody might have a phone. Who are you going to call if your phone don't work? You know, it's just being really cognizant of just, you know, think as if we're in the year 1900 and then start to prepare as if we are in that, if we're living in that year. So I'll go ahead and pass the mic.
You know, even you know, what you said, it made me think about you know, like in this movie, right? Yeah, I forgot what I was gonna say, but even just watching the whole movie thing, right? Because you don't know, like, if an asteroid come to Earth right now, we gotta depend on them to like do everything. You know what I'm saying? So, at the same time, we have no protection for ourselves. Period. You know, like you was talking about. You know, but I'm trying to see which one I was trying to play, but you know, we talked about pretty much all of this stuff today, you know, and I was gonna show like how to purify water, but they you know, we it doesn't really matter until we learn the skills of how to preserve our own food, how to preserve our own water, the fact that we may need water or whatever, you know, in the first place. It's just, I don't know, like what you want to say about it, though, considering.
I think that water one, how to preserve the water, would have been a good one. But I wanted to talk about like other ways of communicating is getting walkie talkies and have them already ready. Also have a place, a planned place to meet. say for instance, if your kids is out of the country or out of the state, or have a place to meet. You may have one child in California and another one, in North Carolina, and another one in Virginia. Have a spot. Where are you going to meet at? Something happens, they need to know what's what, right? So let's not act like you don't have family members. You guys need to have a plan on where you're going to go. I mean, you can even, like for case you mentioned getting a what do you call that? One of
you got a echo. Go ahead, Chris.
Somebody, why don't you guys mute?
Oh yeah. Go ahead.
That might work. Okay.
Yeah.
It's gone. Let's go. Like a bunker, like you talked about the bunkers. I mean, those aren't that expensive, and you could have those hidden in your walls in your house. You don't have to necessarily, go underground, but just a safe house. Have some place in your house, in your closet, just a safe house, just for a place to go. And then if but a lot of Black folks just don't have money for bunkers. But you're gonna have to have somewhere that's safe. Maybe in the woods, or, so different mountains. If you got mountains around your house, plan to go to the mountains, or something like that. But I rest my mic.
Yeah. Go ahead, MCC.
Yeah, basically, just to give you a little update, the fire hydrants. I mean, these fires they're spreading like massively out here. Hollywood Hills is now hit, but a lot of them are reporting that the fire hydrants are dry. So the trucks and the fire hydrants don't even have water out here. They're trying to get Colorado to come in. They're trying to get the helicopters in. So stuff like that could happen. Okay. And I'm not saying it's because they're unprepared. I'm not saying it's a lot of it is money. If something like that happened where we lived, then the fire hydrant, the hydrants would have never had water in the first place. So it's just really getting prepared for, as if we are a century ago, and there's nobody there to help us but us. Nobody's out there to cook for us but us. Nobody's to do medical care for us but us. It's having that kind of mindset before anything else. Just know that, okay, it's going to just be us, no matter who it is. Like Cassidra said, safe house, little things like that, because it's only going to get, you've got a so-called government that's getting in transition right now. And you know what they said? The government that's coming, their government that's coming in, their administration that's coming in said, let California burn. He just said that not about an hour ago. So, hey, it is what it is. I'm not mad or nothing. I'm just saying, hey, they're looking out for themselves. And I understand that.
But wait a minute. You said something about the fire hydrants didn't have water. Where's the water?
Yeah, exactly. They're supposed to have them in both the trucks and the fire hydrants. Now they're getting it. They're trying to get it. How they put out fires with the through the helicopters with the retardants and stuff like that. Yeah, they're trying to do that because it's reported that fire hydrants are running dry. That's how crazy these fires are.
Wow, that's crazy. As many fires as this is a known thing for California, and for the fire hydrants to be, and it's always in the area where it's rich white folk. I don't understand that. Is it a money thing? Is it an insurance thing? Or is it really seriously, did somebody set the fires? How is all these fires being started?
Well, they live in those hills, and California is dry naturally. Okay, just anywhere in those hills. When I lived up in the hills, we were always under fire watches. You can't go out there and have cookouts and all this other nonsense that folks do. So, because that's what they do. They live as if they own the world and nothing will affect them. And it's usually, that arrogance and that hubris that they have. It usually catches up with them, and I have no problem with that. I'll pass the mic.
Yeah, I would say let it all. And MG2, what you said, like speaking of movies and stuff, right? It reminded me of like that movie, the Purge movie, the Mexican one, when they was like trying to go to Mexico, whatever, But they was like, yo, we split up. Look for this symbol that lets you know that it's a safe house. And that straight made me think about that, because I'm like, yo, we don't have any. We used to have stuff because, even what you say about the North Star, like that, like to me, I think that means freedom, because like this means like that's what Black people used to use to get to freedom, you know. So that in itself, or I guess I probably shouldn't have said that, but that in itself is something that a language is like that we are missing amongst each other. Now we have certain things like like the head nod, but we'll explain it like, yo, white boy, let me explain the head nod to you, or let me explain this to you, because we have certain ways of communicating because we naturally have that, you know. But we have this also love of so much other people that it doesn't make sense. So, but the point is, you know, like us developing our own language starts with trusting each other, trusting ourselves, knowing that we have no friends. And yes, I will take away like every single white savior that you have, you know, because you can only save yourself, and you should only put yourself in a savior position. And you have to control your water, your food, your shelter, your land in general. At some point, we're going to have to learn this lesson. You know what I'm saying? At some point throughout history, we're going to have to learn to love ourselves more than we love our enemies. Because how can we love our enemies if we don't even love ourselves in the first place, right? So I think it's fear. But anyway, anything can happen. Go ahead.
Well, no, I'm glad you said that, because yeah, and you know I like watching movies. I watched one just recently in terms of how to depend on one another. It's called Soundtrack to a Coup d'Etat, and I know you like history, and you know when I say history, I should say our record. That is probably one of the best movies I've seen. It just came out this year. Probably one of the best movies I've seen in the last 5 years, because it shows you what we did back in the day to depend on each other, and that's when we were truly Pan-African. You know, it was all of us sticking together. Yet it didn't work. The outcome was definitely not to our liking, because you know Patrice Lumumba got killed in the end. But it shows what happens when you depend on others, and you know you'll see there are some moments that make you think like, damn, there's so many sellouts that we could have done so much had we not sold out. You know, from Louis Armstrong to Dizzy Gillespie. I mean, just watch that movie and you'll see what could happen when we depend on each other and what happens when we don't. And, you know, because of the fact that we didn't depend on each other enough, well, of course, Patrice Lumumba was killed.
What's the name of the movie?
Soundtrack to a Coup d'Etat.
Okay.
And it's a story. I mean, it was artfully done. The whole story about what happened to Patrice Lumumba. But it gives you more in-depth things that you don't like get on documentaries. You know, it's very in-depth. And who was responsible, who was behind how they did it. But then you had other Africans and other nations that actually, you know, came to the forefront, you know, to go ahead, you know, especially Russia. I mean, it's really a good movie. But I look at that as a microcosm or a macrocosm of all of us. Because of the fact that I always use the term either individual collectivist or collective individualism. That is so important right now that it's more important than anything else in terms of, you know, race matters, if you want to call it that. Everyone else is individually collective. And it's not just because, you know, of course, whites will stick with whites, Hispanics stick with Hispanics. You have an entire world that's close to flux right now. If you know what the term flux is, the world is becoming more sectarian, populist, militaristic, needy, demanding, wanting, connected, informed, mistrusting, you know, opportunistic. There's some things are becoming more in flux, and you're going to see more folks a lot of protectionists. And what happens when you have that is you have this errant fear. So the thing is folks are going to start becoming more and more like, you're going to see more incidents of what happened to Brother Brooks over there in I believe it's in out east. You're going to see more and more incidents of, you know, assassins. You know, you're going to see more and more incidents of what you saw, that quote unquote the New Orleans thing, or, you know, folks blowing themselves up in Teslas. Because when things are in flux, you see more desperation. and you see folks act out with caprice. And if we're not cognizant as a collective, okay, you're going to see more folks become more collective around their own folks, because there is a justification for the fear that's about to happen. If you fear something right now, that there's something about to happen, you are totally justified. Okay, and it's not just your instinct. Okay, there is something on the horizon. So if you're feeling it, you best believe there's other folks that are a collective that are feeling that. Other folks, other races, other gangs, societies, whatever else that are feeling, hey, something's about to go down. The thing is collective individualists never do that. And that's unfortunately what happened to us. Is we're thinking, well, as long as we depend on someone else to go ahead and have a McDonald's, even though the water might be bad, I don't have to depend on Ray Ray and Pookie because I can always get my Mickey D's. It's going to be quite difficult for those that are individualists in the near future, a gangload of folks who don't look like them, who are collectivists. And it's going to get more and more difficult. And to be point blank, they're not going to make it. So I'll go ahead and pass the mic.
Yeah, facts. And Anthony said a toolkit is very, very important, and that's also facts. So Cassidra, you want to say something before we wrap everything up?
This was a great show. I don't know. It's just, I hope you guys are learning. I hope they're getting it. Go get that water. Go stack up. Don't wait till the last minute. I rest with that.
Yeah, because what are you gonna do if you can't flush the toilet, if you can't take a shower? And the most important thing is to be able to drink. I could give my dog some water, I guess that'll be messed up, but I would give my dog water after every black person, but before every other person that's not black. So I would give my dog water first, you know what I'm saying? So it's all good. But at the end of the day, because you might be in California where you don't have no snow, right? So you can't boil no water to go pour in the toilet, So what are you going to do to dispose of it? Or when you go to the store, the water, if it's any there, might be $25 for like a 6-pack or something like that, when you could have easily just been like, yo, it was on sale last week for like $2.99. And by the way, the crazy part is they be like, yo, it was on sale. It's on sale this week for like $5.99, even though last week it cost $4.99, but it's on sale this week for $5.99. I don't understand how that works, but at the end of the day, you have to, you might need a first aid kit, a Band-Aid, let's just say, but also Kleenex or stuff to wipe your hands, because you know how many people in the city today could you couldn't shake nobody's hand because nobody could wash their hands today unless they had water in the city. Even at the hospitals, at whatever place you go to, you know what I'm saying? People couldn't take showers, nobody could do anything. So at the end of the day, it's already too late, to be honest with you. You're doomed. You know what I'm saying? It's too late. I'm sorry. I was trying not to let it out, but it's already too late. We told you to do this 5 years ago. Cassidra was on her channel saying this. She stopped coming on here because y'all don't listen to real talk. Y'all want to argue about stupid stuff. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, my bad, y'all. MDC, you want to say something before we go?
Sure. Brother Forecast, I'm so glad. I mean, I appreciate you so much, man. I just gotta tell folks, everyone else knows that something is on the horizon that they're gonna have to prepare for globally. I caution everyone who is within earshot to make your own quote unquote survival green book. Okay, and the survivalist green book for me was my, it's my insignia of the drinking gourd, i.e., the Big Dipper and the North Star. I put it on all social medias. I used to have out business cards back when folks were doing that, and you can make contact cards of everyone that you know, just on your phones or whatnot, and have an insignia or your own green book, because you never know when you're going to be uprooted and have to go somewhere. And as long as you keep in touch with those folks in your network that are a part of your green book, you may, and they could be cross country, it could be across the world. It doesn't matter. Have your contacts, to where you might have to, get on horse and buggy or on a bicycle. But at least in your contacts, you could go ahead from nation to nation, or you might even find some folks in Veracruz, Mexico. Doesn't matter. Your contacts, in case something serious goes down and you're uprooted, you can make it from one place to the other safely and in one piece without having to worry about what's going to happen next. So I really caution everybody to get your contacts together, get a little roadmap. So in case you have to do a lot of traveling, you might have to go to Canada. Who knows? You have a network of folks to where you're going from where you're at to where you need to get to should something happen. And the thing is, it works both ways. Should something happen to them and they need to make it to you, they've got the same thing that you have, to where they could go ahead, again, as Sister Cassidra said, safe houses. From one place to the next, boom, you're good. Because I don't think that FEMA, that United States government, and sure, Elon Musk is not going to save you when either a zombie apocalypse or a snowstorm or a tornado or earthquake or nuclear bomb happens. I'm sure they're going to have other priorities other than us. So I just wanted to put that out there for you, Brother Forecast. Thank you guys so much. And, it's always a pleasure.
Yeah, and just on top of that too, right? Because back then we would go to these places and do these stuff. We didn't have no running water, no electricity, and move at night. And we had a network of Black people that could communicate without the internet, without cell phones, without all of these things. They had green books, eventually had green books, but they got to a point where the original green books was putting the maps on the cornrows in their heads, because it all meant to be free, and they would do it without running water, without electricity, and the comforts that we have all the time. But Cassidra, you have the last words for the day. So what you want to say to close it out?
I just want us to be ready. Get it together. Start getting your stuff together. Take some money. Start getting your little, getting your water, getting your toilet paper. Just be ready. Get your phone numbers and your walkie-talkies, radios. The ones that you crank up with your hand. You just turn it. Get something. Just get ready. You may need it and you may not need it, but if you do, you'll have it. So why wait to the last minute? Start now. You still got time. Just like we talk about getting your gold and getting your silver, getting your XRP and getting your XLM. If you don't have it, you guys are going to be looked out again, because Bitcoin had their little era, 14 years ago or something like that, and it's time, it's coming around again. So if you guys don't have your extra little money and you holding on to those 401ks, you're going to be in trouble when that money's gone. You're going to be hurt. So I rest my mic.
Yeah, and by the way, Anthony said having plant knowledge is also important, and that's a fact, because medicines come from plants, food, poisons, all of the above come from having plant knowledge. That's why they made it illegal for us to actually have plant knowledge as a law, But and I'll say for my last words, all of this time saying yes, sir. Now we gotta find a place to hide, but it ain't no good places to hide left, so we doomed. But all right, my bad, MG2. I messed up your saying, because
it's all good. It's all good. Just if people don't listen to this broadcast and listen to the things that you guys have, two words they should learn, and learn it correctly. Yes.
or sí, senor, like for some of y'all. But anyway, as always, man, we have got to start standing for something, or we will keep falling for anything.
Peace, family.